5:55 now on Arizona's Morning News with Jim Sharp and LaDonna Harvey. And if you think Keanu Reeves is an angel, you might want to check him out as an angel in his latest role in the new comedy Good Fortune. KTAR's Brandon King has the details.
Why did you do this?
I tried to show him that wealth wouldn't solve all his problems.
And?
It seems to have solved most of his problems.
In theaters this week, Good Fortune. Aziz Ansari makes his directorial debut here, starring as Arj, a documentary editor at the end of his rope, finding any part-time work he can around Los Angeles. Seth Rogen stars as billionaire Jeff, who brings on Arj as a temporary assistant and is a total jerk about it. Enter Keanu Reeves as Gabriel, an angel who takes pity on Arj and swaps his and Jeff's lives. Now Arj is rich, Jeff is poor, and that's just the start, with several curveballs along the way. Like Gabriel, the movie's intentions are good, and the results can be rather fun, specifically in watching one of Keanu Reeves' most lively and charming performances, maybe of his career, certainly of the last 10 years. More than that, though, Good Fortune goes for a balance of scathing takedowns of financial inequality and the gig economy in 2025, with some decent insight about empathy and goodness shining through desperate times, even if those ideas aren't quite subtle and the ending doesn't exactly stick the landing. For KTAR News, I'm Brandon King.
5:55 on Arizona's Morning News, and Bruce Springsteen, the subject of a new biopic, one looking towards a part of his life away from arenas and anthems, and Brandon King has more on it.
The label, once you have your first top 10, they want 3 for the next.
Well, we've never been about singles, but the whole story. Just trying to break a little new ground.
We got a little time, just not a lot.
In theaters this week, Springsteen, Deliver Me From Nowhere. In 1981, Bruce Springsteen, played here by Jeremy Allen White, is at a career high finishing his latest tour and a personal crossroads on his place as an artist. Secluding himself in a New Jersey bedroom, Springsteen records Nebraska, a stripped-down acoustic pivot that he hopes will satisfy his fans as much as his soul. Deliver Me From Nowhere is far more intimate than some of the marketing might suggest. Those big Springsteen exceptions are there, but this is far more concerned with examining depression, loneliness, and the spirals that artists can often find themselves in. Director Scott Cooper aims to put us in the same meandering feelings as Springsteen, and Jeremy Allen White impressively lives in and captures that conflict, especially in scenes alongside co-stars like Jeremy Strong and Stephen Graham. The approach, unfortunately, can be easily devoid of stakes, danger, or even a concrete story, and in trying to fill those gaps, it feels as though it's fighting against its best material. Still, maybe like Nebraska the album, the approach is exactly the point, and that might be enough for some. For KTAR News, I'm Brandon King.
Good morning, it's 6:55. Looky here. The third entry in the Now You See Me series is out in theaters this week. Here's Brandon King with more on the magic twisty heist.
Bring down 2 generations of criminals with a single sleight of hand.
8 magicians against a worldwide criminal network. I like our chances.
In theaters this week, Now You See Me, Now You Don't. A decade after their last performance, the magician group known as the Four Horsemen, played by Jesse Eisenberg, Isla Fisher, Dave Franco, and Woody Harrelson, are brought back together by a group of newcomers, played by Justice Smith, Ariana Greenblatt, and Dominic Sessa. The Motley Crue's next mission, or trick this time around, steal the prize diamond of notorious money launderer and diamond miner Veronica Vanderburg, played by Rosamund Pike. Yes, this is now the third in a series of heist movies led by magicians. It is ridiculous, and to the credit of director Ruben Fleischer, it is a mostly self-aware, twisty, charismatically convoluted ride of a movie that understands the whole appeal is getting audiences to buy into the trick, even if you can point out where all the smoke and mirrors are. The cast, both returning and new, are having a great time here, tied together by fun editing and set pieces. You might not believe in magic by the end, but like the first 2 movies, if you can get on their wavelength, there's fun to be had. For KTAR News, I'm Brandon King.
5:55 on Arizona's Morning News. A year ago, Wicked became a phenomenon on the big screen. Brandon King has more on the story's second half in Wicked for Good.
I have no plan.
Well, I do.
Oh, thank God.
Haven't you heard? I'm the Wicked Witch of the West.
In theaters this week, Wicked for Good. Several years after the events of the first film, Elphaba and Glinda are on very different paths. Elphaba, played by Cynthia Erivo, is now on the run, trying to convince the people of Oz the lies of the wizard, played by Jeff Goldblum. Meanwhile, Glinda, played by Ariana Grande, is about to be married to Jonathan Bailey's Fiyero, now the captain of the Wizard's Guard. Can either of them get the happy ending they want? And can director John M. Chu stick the landing a second time around, adapting the second half of the Broadway smash? Part 2's slightly shorter runtime brings a tighter structure but fewer of Part 1's highs, compounded by the darker tone that doesn't quite earn its stripes, and a midway pivot that fans of the original musical story will likely be far more forgiving of. Still, if round 1 enthralled you with the designs of Oz, the topical themes, and the electric yet empathetic performances of both Cynthia Erivo and Ariana Grande, those are back in full swing and then some. There is a lot of good to be found here, but not all of it is changed for the better. For KTAR News, I'm Brandon King.